Hi everyone! Ang topic natin for today is how I applied for my scholarship in South Korea. Let's go! So ayan, before the start of this video, I would like to clarify that I wasn't a government scholar. I was in a school scholarship, which is the scholarship that are offered by universities. In 2015, I started my application through Korea Government Scholarship under a university track. So yeah, since university track siya, I need to submit my application direct sa university. So I was looking for universities in Seoul na pwede kong applyan. So yeah, I searched sa mga websites ng mga universities na located sa Seoul and tinignan ko yung deadline application kasi when I applied, it was like very near the deadline na sinet ng education body dito sa Korea. So most of the school that time, yung application nila is tapos na. So I searched for universities that the application is still open, and then I came through sa university ko, which is Sukmyo Women's University. I came through their website and I searched the deadline, and it was like a week before the final deadline. So yeah, I only had 1 week to finish my application as well as to gather my documents. So I took the chance to gather my documents sa 1 week na period na yun. While I'm gathering my documents, I actually contacted the university about my questions about applications as well as to clarify the documents. I submitted actually my documents like the day of the deadline. So I informed the international department that I will be submitting my documents on the last day of the application period, and they told me that it's okay as long as the date on the courier is the last day of the deadline. So yeah, I submitted my documents in the last day of the deadline. Actually, there are a lot of documents that I have to prepare, and yeah, I will share it here. Yeah, there was like an application form, a study plan, a health check document, and a lot more. So I have to request from my previous university. Yeah, so I got the documents from UP, my birth certificate. So that 1 week was actually a very long week for me because yeah, there's a lot of things to gather, a lot of things to think, and a lot of things to fill up. When I submitted my application, the next day, the Office of the International Affairs sent me an email that they received my application. And yeah, I was thankful na they informed me about it because I was actually very anxious na hindi nila na-receive. Then, few weeks after, like 2 weeks after, they sent me an email that they forwarded my application to the business department, and I had to have an interview with the professors in the business department. So I had an interview with the department professors, and the interview was in Korean kasi I didn't know at first when I was applying that my program will be in Korean. So yeah, the interview went in Korean, and yeah, the questions were pretty like very simple, like why I am applying for the scholarship and my career plans after the program, as well as my future goals sa life, like after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Yeah, they had questions about marketing experience, my scholastic experiences, my grades, and whatever. They were actually very positive about it, and yeah, they told me like after the interview that they will recommend my paper to the Ministry of Education for the final round. The interview went through Skype. There were like around 3 professors that asked me questions in Korean. Yeah, my program actually requires student to have like level 3 TOEIC for you to enter the program because all of the classes will be in Korean. 2 weeks after the interview, I received another email from the international office in my school, and they told me that they recommended my paper to the Ministry of Education. After around like a month after they recommended my papers, I received an email from the Ministry of Education that unfortunately they are not able to provide me the scholarship I messaged the school and they told me that they have like other scholarship, like school scholarship that they give to international students. So they asked me if I'm interested because they got impressed with my working experience, my Korean skills, and my grades in college. So yeah, they told me that they will be able to provide around 75% of the tuition. The tuition fee for Masters in Business Administration is around 6 million won, which is around 280 to 300,000 pesos per semester. So if they are able to give me around 75% of the tuition, I need to pay 50 to 60,000 pesos. So ayun, I told my school that will accept the scholarship, and after that they gave me details and other documents that I need to submit for the school scholarship. One thing is they would need a bank certificate that would support have like enough money to live in South Korea, because you know naman like the prices are like 3 times compared to the Philippines. And second, what are the documents needed to apply for a scholarship? So ayan, you can actually search the documents sa school mismo na applyan nyo, or if you apply through study in Korea, there are actually guidelines that shows the documents that you need to submit, and you just have to submit the documents on time. So number 3, so ayan, tuition and other expenses. As I said earlier, the tuition fee for Masters in Business Administration in my school, actually it differs from every school. So in my school, it was around 6 million won, which is around 300,000 pesos that time. So yeah, since my scholarship is around 75% of the tuition nung first semester ko, yeah, I had to pay another 60,000 pesos for the tuition. Aside from that, syempre, if you get accepted, you have to have like money for your dorm and other living expenses. So yeah, the dorm rates usually around 750 to 1,500,000 per room. So parang sa 750, there will be around 3 people in a room. Sa 1.5 million won naman, there will be around 2 people in a room per semester. Pero if you are not able to get some like slots sa dorm, kasi hindi lang naman ikaw nag-apply, there are a lot of students coming from different parts of the world who apply sa space sa dorm, there will be a chance na you have to look for your own housing. So the rent will be around 500,000 won, which is around 25,000 per month, and you have to have around 5 million deposit, which is around 250,000 pesos. And aside from that, you have to have your own allowance, right? For allowance, maybe roughly around 500,000 won, which is 25,000 pesos. So if you calculate everything, you will need around 50,000 pesos per month if you live in a one-room apartment. For those who are applying under a school scholarship, there will be no allowance. So you have to provide your own allowance, and you have to be ready sa mga other expenses pa, kasi there will be like medical insurance expense na you have to pay around 200,000 won per semester. So lastly, what are other considerations that you have to check before applying for a scholarship in South Korea under a school scholarship? Oh yeah, you have to check if your program is in English or Korean, because in my case, I didn't check that my program will be in Korean and classes in Korean. And most of the school requires a student, an international student, to have at least TOPIK 4 to graduate from the university. Submit your application on time kasi Korea is very particular with the deadline. Lastly, if hindi kayo pinalad sa government scholarship tulad ko, hindi siya end of the world. So there are other scholarship na the school is offering to foreign students or sa international students. So it's better to check it with your international office sa school na pinili nyo if there are other scholarship available for international students. And also check if that school scholarship gives you an allowance or not, because if not, it will be hard for you to find a job right away in South Korea, because if you are a student, you have to report everything sa immigration office. Kasi as a student, you are not allowed to work in South Korea unless you report it that you have a part-time job. So ayan, that's it for today, and I hope you learned from the things that I shared with you. And yeah, again, I was not a Korea government scholar. I was a school scholar, and all of my references was based on my own experience. So if you have other questions, just comment on my YouTube channel, or I will put the link of the study in Korea sa detail section of this video. Thank you so much for watching this video, and yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.